My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is July 13, 2025. It is 6:01 a.m. This is video number 2. The first video I was talking about Daddy Fell, and I think Daddy Fell had a cover of allegedly someone from the Sussex team had a meeting with the firm's team to talk about whatever. And then I did put some videos regarding the Texas flood, and the last video had to do with the squad gave us some people to black, and then in that particular tweet she shared a TikTok video of Megan fashion kind of thing. But anyway, since I have some videos regarding the Texas flood, I was making a list a while ago, and let's just cover it and get it out of the way. Alright, so this is the background for this video. If you're in the UK, this video may not be for you, but these are some tweets, videos that I came across with some information and things that happened in Texas, what the Biden administration was trying to help that same county that had the flood, but they didn't want to use the money for that. Instead, they use it for something else. Okay, so this is what this will be covering. Alright, so this is the first one. Let me make sure my list. Let me see, 1 2 3 4 5, only 5 tweets, but they're pretty long. 73. Let me make sure I start with the one that on my list. Okay, so I'm not gonna read all of this. I'll read the caption, but this is what I want to focus on, this video, and I think there's one below it somewhere, and that one. Okay, so let's read the caption. Interesting read, because first President Obama and then President Biden tried to give Kerr County funds to update their flood warning systems, but they rejected it from Obama. But then Senator John Cornyn told them to keep the cash from Biden and still not update the system. Alright, so I'll put this, you could pause and read. Okay, pause and read, 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 and that's it. So now let's listen to this video, and I think it sums up everything. It will be screenshot. It's 3 minutes 9 seconds. Listen to this audio. Let's listen.
What gets me is you talk about spending this money on Kerr County infrastructure that's needed. This money wouldn't even exist if it hadn't been for the great scandemic. They created the problems that created the need, the shortage of tax funds and money. And you talk about 2022 and 2020, this might happen. I don't trust anything, including our elections, our Supreme Court. I mean, I know a lot of people my age are having a hard time admitting that this is happening in America in our lifetime. But these people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak. I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
We do not want.
If people stop and listen, the government is giving you money to upgrade your system. How is that communism? People need to stop and think. But let's continue. Pretty much, I think all the text that I show you at the beginning, it's what being said here, all right, in that audio.
For of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money. But I am here to put each man on notice that if you vote to keep Biden's money, I will hold you personally responsible and personally liable for any and all harm that comes to I, a woman called Sherry Snyder, and the family of I, as well as the residents of this county.
Okay, knowing what happened now, okay, remember the money was to prevent. They didn't do it. They didn't upgrade, they didn't prevent. So now that the disaster happened, people have died, should we call this woman back for what she said? Because she said she was going to hold people accountable. So now that they did not use the money for what it was supposed to do to prevent all those deaths, are they going to call her back? All right, but let's continue. Oh, another thing as well, which I said in my last video. What was it? I lost chain of thought. If I remember, I'll come back. I'll mention it later, but let's continue.
I think the bottom line here is that we don't want this Biden money in our county. There's no such thing as free money, ever. There are always strings attached. And the notion that we would keep the money in a separate account is not acceptable. We want you to send it back. The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is
Now I remember. There's a comment that I read. These people who are talking right now, that lady voice we're hearing, people should do a background check on them. Who they were speaking for. Were they actually paid to speak against the fund? Who actually sent them to talk? Alright? So pretty much to do investigation who these people are.
no part of this administration has the good of America or Americans at heart.
That's crazy.
We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government.
Crazy.
This is Texas, and Texans can take care of Texas.
So this is what Trump is doing. Let Texas take care of itself. There's a video I put on the list where Mexico sent firefighters or rescuers to go and help, and there's this sheriff in this county who's thanking the Mexican rescuer for saving his family. Okay, let's continue.
The only guarantee we have of keeping Biden in D.C. and keeping Kerr County free of his overreach is by refusing the funds. We don't
It's
want them.
crazy.
If this body is not willing to reject the money in the first place, why would we believe you would fight for us against tyrannical mandates?
It's
The
crazy.
only way we know that this money isn't going to be spent is if it isn't there to spend. We do not want our need to raise the bar of spending here in Kerr County. Most everyone that I know feels that the tax burden here is already too high. And if we take these funds, even if there were no strings attached, it sets a precedent for higher spending, and that is not healthy for this county or its residents. We are looking for smaller government, not bigger. This
And Trump is giving them that. Trump left them. I don't know if the federal government sent anyone to help them. They cut FEMA, they cut all sort of help. But the Mexican government sent people to help them.
put money, I think, is supposed to soothe our feelings or make us think the government cares about us after the pandemic, and we're not going to be soothed.
They lie, it's easy to lie, you get lawyers, they say fine print and all that kind of stuff. That's what's gonna happen here. They're gonna eventually come back with some lawyers, they're gonna come out with another plan, another legal thing from Biden, and he's gonna say you gotta pay it. Everybody's gonna have to get a shot. I'm not gonna get a shot.
Alright, so that's that. And there's this what is this? Oh my god, this is 9 minutes. I found some of the original on TikTok. So there's more of that. Part 4. But if you guys want me to come back to this, I'll come back to it. But this is too long. I didn't have this on my bingo card for me to share with you. It's too long. Where was the other one? Alright, more of it. Let me pause and find the other one that I was looking for. This one is long as well. 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
So you want to know how Texas Republicans got people killed? In 2016, Kerr County commissioners had an engineer report that they had commissioned to find out whether or not their emergency alert systems were good enough along the Guadalupe River. And the report came back no. But they intentionally did not update the system. They were given the money. They were given the money once by Biden, and they were given the money once by Obama. And this was what was said in court. Somebody on Reddit found this, by the way. Somebody that is like me, who is able to go through meeting notes and things like that. I'm guessing whoever put this together was probably in the meeting and remembered it, or they know how to use the keyword searches on the county websites. You can do this in the Texas legislature online too. System. I used to teach. Maybe I'll do a little lecture on how to do it on here so people can do it themselves. Commissioner Moser, the cost of that whole thing is going to be like $976,000. We're talking about seconds. There is a FEMA grant that's available as long as we apply by January 20th. This is the money Obama's going to give them, Judge Fuller, which is when President Obama goes out of office. Laughter. It's hilarious. It's hilarious that Obama tried to give them money to update their systems, and that they're not going to use it, I guess. Big laugh there. Commissioner Reeves, and I will say, and Sheriff, you can correct me if I'm off base on this, the camps have a very good system of letting downriver know if there's a rise. So why should we have to do anything? I mean, I know we're in charge of the county. I know the federal government's giving us grants, but like, my dude, they can just like give each other a little ring-a-ding. Like, you know, this water runs like many miles an hour, by the way. That's how ridiculous this is. But give them a little ring-a-ding. This is the best part. Are you ready for this? Judge Pollard, dead in the water. Get it? Because the project's dead in the water. Commissioner Moser, dead in the water. Right, it's dead in the water. Or pun for flood warning system. It's dead in the water. See, you get it? Because everybody's dead in the water. Right now. Get it? So the first comment is, just to be clear, from a resident. It's not from one of the county commissioners, but this is from a resident in Kerr County. And I'm here to ask this court today to send this money back to the Biden administration, which I consider to be the most criminal, treasonous, communist government ever to hold the White House. And Kerr County should not be accepting anything from these people. So that's what I have to say to you. Free money. Hell no. Not from around here. Commissioner Bello, and this is wild, okay? Commissioner Bello, we have the money in the bank. $5.1 million that was sent to Kerr County. Judge Kelly, we didn't ask for it. They sent it. Commissioner Bello, they sent it. Ms. Jewell, exactly. The audacity. They just sent it. How dare you? Take your money and go, sir. It's truly the most nefarious part. Commissioner Bello, by the way, if they don't use the money, they have to give it back. My old law partner, John Cornyn, tells me that if we send it back, it's going to New Jersey, imagine, or it's going to New York, or it's going to, Miss Lavender, California. I don't know if I'd rather be the custodian of the money until we decide that we have to do it with, rather than give it back to the government to spend on values that we in Kerr County don't agree with. They didn't spend the money. They didn't. If they did, they didn't spend it on an emergency system. But they wanted to make sure that no liberals got their hands on it. And now, 160 people missing. All of those people are almost certainly dead. 109 confirmed deaths. Probably close to 300 people are dead. Great job, guys. Bang up.
This is crazy. Those people are stupid. Okay, let's go to the next tweet. That 9-minute video, I'm thinking maybe at the end, I'll just let it play for you guys. It'll be screenshot, but you could listen to the audio. So this is another one here. Okay, despite receiving $10.2 million in federal aid from the Biden administration that could have funded a flood warning system, Kerr County officials diverted most of the money to law enforcement projects. The decision, influenced by local opposition to Biden, error funds, and mistrust of federal involvement, is now under scrutiny after catastrophic flood killed at least 120 people. And there could be more, because some they still haven't found. All right, 1 minute and 10 seconds. Let's listen.
We do not want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money.
But these people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak.
What the money has to do with all of what he's saying here? Nothing. They want to upgrade the system, the warning system, but now they're talking about invading and all of that un-American. I don't know. Let's listen.
I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
Now, we don't need these funds here. We've done just fine. We'll get by without them. But you spend this money, you're signing a contract with the devil. The devil's in the White House.
If you vote to keep Biden's money, I will hold you personally responsible and personally liable.
The Biden
Okay, that woman who just said if they keep the money, she will hold these people liable. I'm wondering, how will the people hold her right now? How will the people who lost their loved ones is seeing her? And this is why one of the comments said that they should look at the background of these people who were talking about against the fund. Okay, let's continue.
Liable. The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is no part of this administration that has the good of America or Americans at heart. We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government. This is Texas, and Texans will take care of Texas.
I don't believe we should take the money. We should not have it. I don't trust our federal government. I don't think that they're truthful with us. And in these days and these times, we can't afford to make a mistake.
I'm assuming, okay, it's done. I'm assuming they trust
We do
the,
not want
oops.
more of Biden.
I'm assuming they trust the current federal government that we have now. Are there anything below this? I'm not gonna read the comments. Okay, so that's that. What is this here? Okay, where is the thank you to Mexico? Okay, I think I have this in my on the list. Is it the one that talk about the sheriff who thanks Mexico? It's so sad that you have to almost lose your family in order to respect the Latino community. 1 minute and 24 seconds. Okay, I think this is the one.
The sheriff of Kerr County, Texas, broke his silence. His eldest daughter and 2 grandchildren were rescued by Mexican rescuers. And now he says it with his hand on his heart, I owe them my family's life. No one expected to hear that from Larry Leda, a man known for his tough stance against immigrants. But this time, tears spoke louder than speeches. Kerr County was the hardest hit by the floods that ravaged Texas in recent days. His daughter and grandchildren were trapped on a rural property surrounded by water. Local rescue teams couldn't reach them in time, helicopters were busy, and when all seemed lost, the unexpected happened. A group of Mexicans, sent by order of President Claudia Sheinbaum, crossed the border with shovels, ropes, and pure courage. They were the only ones who managed to reach the area, and they got them out alive. Larry Leda couldn't hold back his emotion. If they hadn't been there, I would have lost my daughter and my grandchildren. Leda publicly declared that from now on, Kerr County will welcome the Mexican people with respect and gratitude. I can't keep acting like nothing happened. I can't turn my back on those who saved my daughter. And you, do you also believe it's time to recognize the value of our people? Comment Mexican pride if you believe solidarity breaks all borders. Today, no one is talking about walls. Today, we talk about respect and about a sheriff who understood in the midst of pain that some lives are worth more than any passport. And about a people, the Mexican people, who once again show that when everything falls apart, they are the first to rise. The sheriff of Kerr County knows it now.
I mean, kudos to the Mexicans and the president as well for standing above the pettiness that Trump is doing. And it's really sad it had to take that for this one sheriff to understand the basic of humanity. This is why sometimes I said sometimes you have to feel it in order for you to understand it. We didn't have to go through all of that. If they had used from President Obama and President Biden the money for what it was used for. But instead you have the devil tricking the people to go against their best interests. All right, I think I have another video similar to this, but anyway, let's go to the next one. All right, so I'm not gonna read all of this and that, and I think this is the one I played already. I think some of them are repetitive. Let's go to the next tweet. Texas flood, Mexico. I think this is where they sent Mexican to come and save, to the rescue. Let's pause this. This is 1 minute and 1 second. I'll just leave this right here. Thank you, Mexico. Let's listen.
Breaking news, Trump said there was nothing he could do, but it was Mexico who stepped up to save lives. While the floodwaters swept away homes, families, and hope in South Texas, the governor appeared on television, his voice shaking, saying his hands were tied, that he had no resources, no way to help. But someone did. From across the river, without cameras, without promises, hundreds of Mexican rescuers crossed over on their own. They came with backpacks on their shoulders, trained dogs by their side, and hearts full of faith. They didn't wait for orders. They didn't ask for permission. They just heard the cry of a neighbor, and they answered. And now, in the mud and rubble of cities like Laredo, Eagle Pass, and Mission, the loudest voices aren't speaking English. They're speaking Spanish, Mexican voices saying, hold on, we're here. Because while Trump locks himself in his office and the governor throws his hands up to the sky, Mexico is waist deep in the water, pulling people out alive. Today, Texas faces its worst climate disaster in years. The first to react was not Trump, but the people arrested in the United States. So ask yourself if you believe Trump's immigration policies are wrong. Drop a thank you, Mexico, in the comments and share this story before politics buries it.
All right, so that's that. This is my last one here. Where is it? All right. Oh, let's pause. Kerr County Sheriff changes his mind about Mexicans after they saved the lives of his daughter and grandkids. 1 minute and 53 seconds. Okay, like I've said, I'm gonna let this play by itself, but this is something I probably will stop and say anyway in the middle of the video, is that it didn't have to take this, the flood, and what Mexico did for being a better human being, stand above pettiness, for him or them to understand it. They didn't have to go through that. Humanity should have been at the beginning, at the forefront. Don't treat people like crap. But let's continue. All right, let's start it.
The sheriff of Kerr County, Texas, has finally broken his silence. His oldest daughter and 2 grandchildren were rescued by Mexican first responders. With his hand on his chest, visibly moved, he said, "I owe them my family's lives." No one expected to hear that from Larry Leda, a man known for his tough stance on immigration. But this time, the tears spoke louder than the speeches. Kerr County was one of the hardest hit by the floods that swept across Texas in recent days. The sheriff's daughter and grandkids were trapped on a farm surrounded by water. Local rescue teams couldn't reach them. Helicopters were overwhelmed. And just when all hope seemed lost, hope crossed the border. A team of Mexican rescuers, sent by order of President Claudia Sheinbaum, crossed the border with courage, shovels, ropes, and determination. They were the only ones who made it to the property, and they came out with everyone alive. Larry Leda, visibly shaken, admitted, "If they hadn't shown up, I'd be burying my daughter and my grandkids." Faced with this, the sheriff made an unexpected statement. From this day forward, the people of Mexico will be treated with respect and gratitude in Kerr County. I can't ignore what happened. I can't look down on those who saved my family. And you? Do you think it's time we start recognizing the value of those who reach out when it matters most? Comment Mexican pride if you believe solidarity matters more than any border. Today, no one's talking about building walls. Today, we're talking about empathy. About a sheriff who learned through pain that human lives have no nationality. And about a people, the Mexican people, who once again showed the world that, when everything falls apart, they're the first to start rebuilding. Larry Leda knows that now. And the whole world should know it too.
Alright, so that's that. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for, okay, let's keep vision, because people need to see what's going on, because the evildoers are playing right in front of our eyes. It is up to us to see through their full-blown BS. Alright, let's do this one. Prayer for healing eyes. Heavenly Father, I come before you today to lift up this prayer for healing of our eyes. You are the great physician, the one who created our bodies with intricate details. I ask that you will touch and restore any damage or illness that may be affecting our eyes. Bring healings and clarity to our vision, removing any pain or discomfort. Lord, let your healing power flow through us, granting us renewed sight and a greater appreciation for your creation. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that is it. Thank you for watching.
Avanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.